If you're not too involved in the game development scene, when I say Unity, you might not quite know what I'm on about, but if you're a game developer, I guarantee you've used this. It's a very popular software or game engine. If you've opened up maybe a shitty knockoff of GTA 5 on the Play Store, you've definitely seen the logo. It's widely used in the game development industry. Some notable pieces that came out this: Pokemon Go, Cuphead, Rust, and Among Us.
If you want the fucking brawl, come down to Nevic Hospitality, I'll come out of my house and I'll break your fucking legs!
Just to name a few. And basically, they've been under backlash over the last few days. They've made a change to their business model, especially the pricing system, which has received a lot of backlash and is incomprehensible to the people on Twitter and, well, now formerly known X. And you will understand the backlash if we just look at the numbers. So for Unity Personal and the Unity Plus program subscriptions, you must pay a 20 cents per install after reaching 200,000 lifetime installs on your software that have been created within Unity. And Unity Pro and Unity Enterprise subscriptions must pay an astonishing 15 cents and 12.5 cents per install after making $1 million on the game. Just to put into perspective how much this really is, if you think that the people that are paying for these are normally the biggest developers going, let's say Pokemon Go for example, they have 1 billion installs, which is a fucking big number as it is, but if we put that into a calculator times by 0.27, which is the cents they will be paying per install, that is 270 million US dollars just because they used this software to make their game. Now you see the backlash that's been going on because this doesn't just affect the gaming development scene, it affects us directly as the consumers, because this is setting an industry standard now, because this company is so influential it can actually harm the industry by making all engines go this direction where it's all about business instead of about the industry, because no one will be able to play these games anymore. I doubt developers, especially the ones that are using Unity, will be making updates for them, especially the smaller kind of developer studios. They won't be making updates because it will cost them too much money. I think they'll just completely stop operations with Unity. Maybe they might move to other engines, but I'm not entirely sure that this will be a permanent solution, because I'm almost certain other engines will follow this path of just being business instead of about the games and about the culture behind gaming. But there's a saving grace. Terraria, or the people who are behind Terraria, Relogic, have came out with a statement about the whole Unity situation that reads: "The team at Relogic have been watching the recent events surrounding Unity with both interest and sadness. The loss of a formerly leading and user-friendly game engine to the dark forces that negatively impact so much of the gaming industry has left us dismayed, to put it mildly. We feel like we cannot sit idly as these predatory moves are made against studios everywhere." But I feel as if companies are now watching Unity's backlash and not wanting to shoot themselves in their own dick, but maybe there is a possibility that many companies might go this direction, but I feel like if the companies know better for themselves, they won't go this way and create bad press towards their name and harm their own reputation. Relogic don't exactly use Unity themselves outside of certain aspects of the console and mobile ports. They opt for Microsoft XNA, but they're speaking more on behalf of the industry itself, which I find really heroic of them. They could have just sat behind the corner and went, "Oh no, this doesn't affect us, it's fine," but they've decided to speak out on the whole situation and kind of help the industry a bit more and say what needed to be said. Otherwise it would have been just swept under the rug, and the only kind of mention of this would have been the old IGN report. Relogic then go on to say, "We unequivocally condemn and reject the TOS/fee changes that are proposed by Unity and the underhanded way they are rolled out. The flippant manner with which years of trust cultivated by Unity were cast aside for yet another way to squeeze publishers, studios and gamers is the saddest part. Relogic aren't wrong here. All Unity have done have committed brand suicide. They've shot themselves in the foot. They've completely ruined the reputation. They've completely ruined the the fan base, the people that use them, they won't use them anymore. They'll go to different engines like Godot, which will be mentioned later. They'll use engines that won't cost them as much because it'll just be easier to use for them, be more profitable, and be able to run the games that they want to make. They continue this point on with the statement: "We do not feel that a simple public statement is sufficient. Even if Unity were to recant the policies and statements, the destruction of trust is not so easily repaired." This is entirely true. You cannot repair the brand loyalty. You can always make a statement, you can apologise all you want, but you can never force people back into that, like the scene. You can't force people to use your product. You had a perfectly working system. It's worked for years. You weren't low on money. You earned like 350 million last year. I'll put on the screen the actual statistic. You are not running low on money. I understand you've got to pay employees, but if you were working perfectly fine before, then why change it and risk, ruining your reputation like you already have? To that end, we are donating 100,000 to each open source engines listed below. Additionally, we are sponsoring each of these projects with 1,000 per month, each of moving forward. It's good to see that there's companies like this. I don't think Relogic have been that big in the recent years. Terraria as a game has been a big game in the past, but it's not had its popularity since. Really, it's not had a spike like Minecraft has, where it's constant, basically going up and down. They haven't really had a resurgence, but I feel as if it's really good to have these companies that will just step up and try the best to keep the industry alive, to support on these engines, to try and keep them free and open source just for people to use, and smaller developers to not be limited into their assets and what they can use. But that's basically all there is to this video. If you're wondering where I've been, I got abducted by an alien, yeah. I was in my back garden one day and just got taken away, and I've just came back. I've got 3 eyes. It's mental. I was concentrating on life stuff, GCSEs, started college, started working, but I'm trying to keep a schedule now of 1 a week. I'm going to be hopefully starting streaming soon, and there'll be more information on that in the coming weeks. So uploads, I'll let you know what's going on with that, but I hope you all have a good day. Peace.